On May 8th, the city of Piedras Negras in Coahuila, Mexico, was hit by a powerful storm that triggered severe flooding, affecting more than 30 neighborhoods and unleashing an unprecedented crisis across the region. Rainfall totaled approximately 4.5 inches in just a few hours, causing streams to overflow and the drainage system to collapse in multiple areas of the city. The downpour began around 4 p.m., catching residents off guard and leaving behind a trail of destruction. Some of the hardest-hit neighborhoods included Villa de Fuente, Presidentes, Vista Hermosa, Infonavit, Croc, Bravo, Hacienda, and Buena Vista, among others. Homes in these areas were flooded, and many families had to be evacuated due to the imminent danger. Major roads were also seriously affected. Streets such as Fausto Z. Martinez and Lázaro Cárdenas Avenue were temporarily closed due to high water levels and the risks they posed to drivers. The force of the water was so intense that several vehicles were swept away, falling into streams and rendered completely unusable.
Muy buenas tardes, gracias por seguir la radio de Kikapú. Nos tuvimos que detener.
Power outages were reported across several parts of the city, making the situation even more difficult for affected residents. Given the scale of the disaster, local authorities activated an emergency response strategy led by the Mexican Army. Over 20 crews, composed of municipal workers as well as personnel from the National Defense and National Guard, were deployed to assist the public. The Director of Civil Protection and Firefighters stated that their teams were monitoring stream levels in real time and working actively in high-risk areas to reduce damage. In coordination with the municipal public security and state police, rescue operations were carried out to help people trapped in their homes or vehicles. Community response was also remarkable, with volunteers joining rescue and support efforts. A temporary shelter was set up at the Civil Protection and Fire Department facilities in the San Felipe neighborhood to house those in need. Some roads experienced pavement upheaval caused by the powerful current dragging debris through various parts of the city. Underpasses were reopened once it was deemed safe to resume traffic. The weather forecast for the following day indicated a 20% chance of scattered showers in the evening, though heavy rainfall was not expected. Local, state, and federal authorities continued assessing the damage and implementing measures to prevent future flooding. There was an emphasis on the urgent need to improve drainage infrastructure and establish more effective early warning systems to safeguard the population. Following the devastating storm that struck Piedras Negras on May 8th, the days that followed were marked by a collective effort to recover. What began as an ordinary afternoon quickly turned into a large-scale emergency, and even though the storm had passed, its impact lingered in every corner of the city. Streets filled with mud, furniture floating inside homes, and cars stuck in deep sludge became the new urban landscape. Families slowly returned to their homes, trying to salvage what little remained intact. Some houses were still without power, while others were uninhabitable due to moisture damage affecting walls, ceilings, and appliances. Cleanup efforts were intense. Armed with brooms, shovels, and water pumps, both neighbors and city crews fought against dried mud and debris dragged in by the floodwaters. The material damage caused by the storm in Piedras Negras was extensive and became evident just hours after the event. Over 30 neighborhoods were directly impacted, with streets turned into water channels, homes completely flooded, and vehicles either stuck or swept away by the current. Main roads also suffered heavy damage. On Manuel Perez Trevino Bypass and Lázaro Cardenas Avenue, the pavement buckled in several areas due to the pressure from water that the collapsed drainage system couldn't handle. One of the most dangerous effects was the drainage system failure in neighborhoods like Mar Muerto and Tierra y Esperanza. There, the accumulated water caused streams like El Soldado and Primavera to overflow, worsening the situation. The strong current knocked down walls and carried off large objects, including trash bins, streetlights, and even motorcycles. At least one elementary school had a perimeter wall collapse under the water pressure, exposing the vulnerability of many public structures. Families lost much of their property. Refrigerators, mattresses, beds, clothes, school supplies, official documents, and electronic devices were destroyed in dozens of homes. In neighborhoods such as Delicias, Las Lomas, and Donapura, residents tried to hold back the floodwater by building makeshift barricades out of sandbags and cement blocks. Unfortunately, in many cases, their efforts weren't enough.